Call me Squibob. Yes, call me Squibob, for I am a small explosive device that is a little bit off-center. I am what is called a terrorist. I go after the psyche of anyone whom I meet. I am not very likable. Only a mother could like me, and maybe an aunt or two. Don't mess with me, or I will turn you into mincemeat, and do it verbally, just with words. You will be so discombobulated that you will attack me from your core with anger so intense that all thought is lost and your inner soul is bared. You will attack by sword or word or hateful thoughts. Your hatred will be remembered by you, and you will not forget your anger. Yes, you will harbor your hate and will retaliate in whatever means you have. And when you advance into positions of power, you will not forget, for I have bullied you in the past by words, and these words cut into you as if I had cut you with a sword. I am thoroughly dislikable. I am hateful, and I mince no words. Words are my tools. Words can be manipulated, massaged, and manufactured into weapons that are lethal. Some say sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Not true. Words can be a tool for destruction, and I am a maker of words that destroy or maim. I am an effective wordsmith. I make sharp barbs and dull mallets and knobby maces out of words. I drive some of these words into you with the precision of a stiletto. Some of my words work like pins that prick your persona and barely prick your outer skin. Some of my words are so heavy as to bash in your skull and leave you whimpering in pain, so severe that you lash out with your sword in attempt to cut me in half. Oh, I have fond memories of the destructive power of my words. I destroy teachers and professors and classmates with my words. Some call that wit. I call it fun. I create explosions in the minds of others. I take no prisoners. Minds are fair game, and little minds, and pompous minds, and pretentious minds are my fodder. I take exquisite delight in pulverizing them as with a mortar and pestle, and I am the pestle, mashing and grinding and turning into a slimy mess what was once a useless brain. And what was left of the useless brains, if it turned into a seat of power, was sure to retaliate against me and with their weapons of choice. Yes, I am Squibob. I terrorize, I confuse, I conflict. Those are of my choosing. Sometimes I choose not to weaken or maim or disfigure those around me. Sometimes I choose to feint and parry with those who are able to parry with me, those minds that are agile and are equipped with fencing weapons that they used with skill close to mine. With them I jab and thrust and trade quip with quip. With those minds no injury is done. Each of us act as a whetstone for the other, and we become sharper in our intellect, and our minds are tuned to a greater degree. So by now you are tired of my tirade and my paranoid ideation in abstraction, I suppose you want some concrete examples of my expertise, some idea whose minds are buried, bruised, or trampled upon. I suppose you want some evidence of my destructive power. You say, show me how words have power and make others act irrationally and with mindless behavior. A short case in point, West Point in the 1840s. A classmate named Crittenden. He was so angered by my words that he drew his sword and cut my neck and chin in an effort to remove my head. He did not. Another case in point, in grammar school, the case of Mr. Wells, my schoolmaster. Due to my words, he put me in a darkened room with little food and water for 3 days. He even wrote a letter to my mother, the letter more an indictment of his inabilities than dealing with my abilities. I am Squibob. I am incorrigible. I elicit anger and contempt. I did so at the Battle of Cerro Gordo in the Mexican-American War. That was in 1847. While recovering from wounds I received at that battle, I so infuriated Joseph Johnston, later to be a general in the Civil War, that he wanted to have me shot, or at least cashiered out of the Army. My word tactics were effective on some, but had less effect on others. Hatefulness to some is interpreted differently in others. Perceptions determines attitudes. I am perceived as less than brash and abrasive to some. Can you believe that? Enough for now for Mr. Nice Guy. Back to those who retaliated for wounds I had delivered with my words. Briefly, these can best be expanded on later or under different covers. 1. Jefferson Davis. Yes, that Jefferson Davis. In my time, he was United States Secretary of War, and he now has a statue in the United States Capitol Rotunda for that position. He was told to cease and desist from criticizing me when I issued words and drawings describing changes to the uniform for members of the United States Army. My words and drawings were meant to be a satire on the uniform and an indictment of and an example of the incompetency of the War Department at that time. Davis retaliated in giving short shrift to my words and drawings about the military roads along the Columbia River, a project Davis, as senator, was vitally interested in. 2. A lesser-known interaction. Captain Hannibal Day, the commander of Camp Far West, the cantonment for which I surveyed as Lieutenant George Horatio Derby. Hannibal Day, a disgruntled Army officer who I had antagonized, swore that I had lost a wagon load of equipment to flooding in the Sacramento Valley, when he, Day, had expressly warned me out of that flooding. He used his power of command to indict me and put me in danger of monetary fines and court-martial. 3. History has retaliated to my swords of truthful words by relegating me to virtual obscurity. There is little, if any, awareness of my personal art. History has ignored my war of words, my weapons and tactics. At least history has not acknowledged me, but have attributed my contribution to others. Call me Squibob. Remember me, for I am a small explosive device, a little bit off center. Be truthful and be happy.